Our podcast name, by the way, Walking in the Shadows, was genius.
Oh,
Mhm. Walking in the Shadows. Cryptid Women's Society.
boom, boom. We need like a heavy metal. Yeah.
Our podcast name, by the way. We are live and live. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How you all doing? Welcome to Walking in the Shadows, Cryptid Women's Society. My name is
Oh, we got matching t-shirts today.
Lisa. Yay, my name is Lisa. Welcome.
I'm Juliet. Hello. How is everybody? I
Oh,
think we're
good.
running a little bit late today because we kind of realized that there has been daylight savings and we're now 3 hours apart, not 2 hours apart.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had no idea. I ended up ringing Juliet this morning at like 7:20 a.m. because I thought it was like 9. I'm
And then I
sorry.
had phone calls at 5 a.m. So, so it's been great. It's my day off and I get woken up at 5 a.m. to answer phone calls.
I'm also very proud of myself for not ringing you at 5 a.m. So I think you should just be happy with that. Could have been 5.
Right, I was already awake.
I had potential. Oh my gosh, today's episode is one that I've been looking forward to doing for such a long time. And I know Jules and I have talked about just so many credible sightings, hoaxes. Let's dive into the Bigfoot phenomenon and see what the truth is and see if we can debunk some stuff. See if we get ourselves like stuck and just going, shit, that actually, I think that's real. But
Yeah.
especially, can we just give a big, loving, caring shout out to the Bigfoot community. Dr. Jeff Meldrum left us last week, and he was so impactful in our community, but also, friends with so many of our Cryptid Women's Society members, with the cryptozoology members that we have, plus the paranormal women that are a part of our society as well. So we did put up a video on YouTube from us to him and his wife and his family, his grandkids. And I know there's lots of comments from a bunch of people that have come in and shared their condolences as well. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a huge, like, it's one of those losses that it's incomprehensible. So, like, just the work that he's done and he would have continued, it's just, yeah, the loss is huge. So, there are some really amazing men and women that are stepping in and kind of hopefully continuing with the work that he's done. So we're not sure what's happening on that part, but yeah, it's
no,
just,
he's got
yeah.
so many amazing people that can. I don't think stepping into his shoes is the right thing
No,
because I don't
not stepping into his shoes, but kind of continuing the work that he's done and the
at
legacy that
work.
he leaves
Yeah, I
behind. Yeah,
agree.
absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that Cryptid Women's Society is trying to do as well. Obviously, with the likes of, Heather Moser and Brittany Barbieri and, Stacey Osorio, so many of our girls, our members, are so heavily involved in the cryptozoology field, and especially when it comes to Bigfoot. And so us down here in New Zealand and Australia, we like to kind of delve into the moiho in New Zealand, the yowie in Australia, and then obviously the orang pendek up in Indonesia. And we've done a fair few episodes now on these hairy men we
You love
love,
Harry Man.
who love hairy men. And I think today's episode is going to be really interesting. So, for anyone that doesn't know how we research, essentially what we do is we go, all right, let's choose a topic. We write up the topics and then we go, freedom.
Yeah.
And Juliet goes ahead and researches whatever she wants around that topic. I do the same. And then we show up live for you right here and we deliver this information. And I have no idea, no
We
idea
could have,
what
we
she
could
has.
have actually chosen the same things. Who knows? But
100%.
yeah. No, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple that kind of stand out, and I mean, there's too many to go through. But yeah, we just kind of picked a
Oh my
few.
God, so
So
many. Yeah. So
yeah,
did you,
it's
wait, I
really
have a question. So did you do Patty? Have you done
fun.
Patty? Okay, neither have I. Patterson Gimlin film, you were safe.
Patty's real. I'm just putting it out there.
Patty's
Patty is real. That's what I feel.
Patty's real.
And
Yeah.
Patty's been done a million times. So
True that, true that.
yeah, so it's just kind of different, like different ones that kind of stood out, and yeah, so it's going to be a fun time, and we're just going to discuss them and what we think is real and what's fake. I did think about chucking in a funny couple costume ones, but I thought too many.
And if you're listening to this on podcasts like Cult of Conspiracy podcast or any of the other ones floating around that we're kind of channeling on at the moment, if you want to see the images or whatever we're showing, jump on over to YouTube. It's free over there at Cryptid Women's Society, and you can come and have a wee squizzy. Also, before we start, Juliet, did you know that we run a membership?
No, what kind of membership?
It's a great membership, in fact. It's
Tell me about it, Lisa. Tell me.
Wow, we have a phenomenal members portal website. It's one of a kind. It's women's only. It allows women to come together, share their stories, share their evidence, share their experience, and share their knowledge to really just drive the balance within the industry, the supernatural industry, if you will. So cryptozoology, ufology, paranormal investigation, ancient societies and history, all of the above, everything that fits into this cool community that we work in, that's what we have our fingers kind of into. And you can become a member right now by simply going over to cryptidwomensociety.com, jumping in there and becoming a truth seeker member. We have our founding membership open right now, and that's literally like 50% off for your entire membership life. So you'll never have to pay the increase in price. You'll never have to, pay more than that, and you get a bucket load of free stuff. We have the Arcane Library, which is just about to get another injection of a bucket load of books and manuscripts and case files and all sorts of other archival evidence in there. We have The Gathering, which is an amazing little forum space where we get to have conversations about all sorts of different things without being interrupted by fucking trolls on the internet that tell us that we're doing it wrong. Thank you.
Right, and there's a lot of fun and banter on there. So for you ladies that are just interested in the supernatural and all the fun stuff, come and have some fun conversations, because we've all got really good sense of humor, and it's also not just about the cryptids and the supernatural. It's like how we deal with life, being woman, interested in these things, and just shit that happens at home. And our banshee moments, it's a safe space, and it's a real fun space. It's a supportive space, and for all us weird kids out there.
Things happening in there at the moment. And if you want to be part of a fantastic movement and a really exciting group of women that are making huge waves and massive change in the community itself, then you should definitely come and join. So awesome. I just wanted to get that out the way, because we keep forgetting to tell people that that's actually what we do. Not only are we a great podcast, we also have this really cool members portal. So jump on over to cryptidwomensociety.com. Oh, Bigfoot, believe it or not, I'm walking on it. All right, Jules, do you believe? Let's start with this first.
Yes.
What is your belief on Bigfoot, Yowie, Sasquatch? What is your belief system on these elusive creatures?
I 100% believe they're out there. I do. There is way too much evidence. Even here in Australia and, like New Zealand, we didn't even know about the Moiho Man in New Zealand, and then the stuff that comes out from New Zealand, the evidence, and from the islands, and, you look at Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or whatever in America, the skunk ape, all the different names that he, and the different varieties of them, we know that they don't all look the same. We know they, you've got your, from what we know, the Alaskan Bigfoot are supposed to be even way bigger, more aggressive than, your Sasquatch that are from different sides. You've got your skunk ape, there's just so many different, just different species of them, I suppose. It's like, that's it. So Absolutely. I believe that they're out there. I think there is an absolute big cover up of these creatures, that is through the military and the government. I do believe that. Yeah, and eventually, and I think, like, I'm hoping within the next couple of years, like there's such a push, it's like that whole alien thing. Yeah, aliens exist. We're like, yeah, we know. you know, I'm hoping it's going to be, it's going to be something like that where they're going to be like, oh, actually, Bigfoot are real, and it's going to come out.
Okay.
Whether they are interdimensional
That
or
was going to be my next
they are
question. So,
biological, that's a very sketchy area for me. Not sketchy, but it's a very, there's been evidence of these things, basically seen kind of disappearing into trees or into rocks, or being able to hide themselves, flying alien ships. Um, I don't know about that one. But there are, the orbs that are seen around around the Bigfoot and the Yowie. The Yowie is the same. There are orbs seen around Yowies. There are alien ships or unidentified UFOs that have been also seen around when Bigfoot and these things have been seen. So who knows? That side of it, that's kind of where
yeah.
that's where it gets a little bit sticky for me. Do I think they're a biological creature? Absolutely. But do they have abilities? Possibly. So
That's a good
can they
step.
fly a ship? Maybe not. That's
Maybe they weren't flying the ship. Maybe he was just in the passenger seat.
they were just sitting next to the little grey alien flying.
Like, I don't have my license.
I don't have my license. Can we let me get it?
I get picked up today, okay?
But yeah, no, I definitely believe there is something out there. It's undeniable. There is just way too much evidence.
There's a lot of bullshit evidence, right?
Oh my God, the AI thing is just absolutely.
AI's throwing it a 6 for sure.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
my view is probably very similar to yours. I know that we've talked about this so many times, and so we do have quite similar viewpoints, especially on like Bigfoot, Yowies, those sort of things. They're so well documented in Indigenous culture, right? First Nations, totally documented, reported, seen, experienced, all of the above. And all you have to do is go back 100 years.
Yeah.
100 years and you've got a plethora of different encounters and probably DNA. If you actually looked further enough, there's probably hair samples and all sorts of stuff floating around in those villages and that sort of stuff as well. And so, yeah, I think I have the same sort of viewpoint as far as like biological and interdimensional with powers or something along those lines. I believe the older creatures, i.e. the thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, yowies, these things that used to roam all over the earth. You look at the moa that were, those giant dinosaur birds that lived in New Zealand, and they were 3 meters tall plus. I think these creatures probably had a greater connection to the earth's energy. That's kind of where my view goes. Like I try not to go too
woo with them.
like I love the woo woo and I love the supernatural stuff,
Love the
but
woo-woo.
I try not to go too far down there because I think it's a cop out if you're not if you're just going, oh well, they're telepathic. Yes, but why? Where's the connection point there? And yes, humans are telepathic. We have that ability. We know this.
Yeah.
It's been very well documented with, CIA and FBI projects and that sort of stuff. Project Monarch and all the other bits and pieces with astro projection and telepathy and things like that. So if we can do that, why on earth would we think that animals in the animal kingdom, in quotation marks, couldn't have the same sort of connection to the earth?
There are some animals that have some type of abilities and stuff like that. And, saying it's also not just America and Australian stuff. In Europe, there are records going back like hundreds of years of hairy men. These things are on tapestries, same as like, we did a big thing on the Yeti that, hundreds and hundreds of years back of these yetis that are like on the tapestries that are painted, that are, so it's not like it's just, a lot of focus is on America for the Bigfoot, but that's because, it's we're a Western country. There's a lot more cameras. There's a lot more stuff going on there. But they're worldwide. They're probably seen in every single country.
Oh, yeah,
It's
well, I mean, all you have to do is look at the Bigfoot mapping project, right? With Scott and those guys up there, literally starting to have dots all over that map of these encounters and sightings. And this is literally just from people actually going straight to that website and doing the entry. So imagine if we were able to get other information and encounters and that sort of stuff and put it on the map, then you'd start getting a really good global understanding that these hairy hominids are everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. So, and and it's like I do believe they're probably not in some areas anymore. It's like all animals that become extinct. There's a very few of them that are possibly left. And I think that's kind of where I'm going with them now, being like a biological thing. I think time could possibly be running out to find them, because I think they're probably becoming less and less and less and less. Yes, but there still seems to be a very good, good family units, whatever they are, that are going around. And
when we did the episode on, was it the Nephilim in the South Pacific, and we talked about giants, we were talking about, we don't know what their lifespan is. Like, their lifespan could have been thousands of years. And the same with Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yowies. Their lifespan could be hundreds of years.
yeah.
We have no idea. So we go, well, our lifespan is, 80 to 100, or maybe 60 to 100, depending on what country you live in. And so we then kind of go, well, you're an animal, which means you must kind of fit in with that sort of lifespan. But actually, that could be
It'll be way longer. Yeah.
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 Alligators, oh my God, they last forever. And what about the Greenland shark, which is like ridiculous, like 3,000 years old or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, it was like, it was hundreds of years, not thousands.
Can you imagine that though?
Maybe.
3,000-year-old shark. But okay, so she might have been 300 years old. But we're very tired. 300 years old. Could you imagine if there was actually a megalodon that was a little bit older than that? Okay, so we have a lovely a viewer today, the indescribable Octoman.
Octoman, hey buddy. How's that little growling?
How's the growl?
How's your little growling friend in your house?
Well, he doesn't talk about that, but I'm sure he will shortly. I don't want the public to know Bigfoot are real, though. He does know that they are real, but he says I don't want them to know because, yeah, fair enough, people want to go and shoot them and hunt them. And I think that's the same sort of mentality with a lot of cryptozoologists in Australia in regards to the thylacine.
Thylacine, yeah.
They
have been found, but they are hidden.
Yeah, they're hidden. Yeah, absolutely. And thousands of encounters are happening all the time. You're talking like kind of 500 real encounters every year minimum that are being reported. And in saying that, we can't seem to find them. And so that could say potentially they are being hidden. And I think Bigfoot and that sort of stuff is exactly the same.
Yeah, or the areas that they are seen suddenly become private or government land, and nobody's allowed to go there. So the same thing has been, it's kind of happened here with the fires.
Okay, so yeah, he does agree with me. No, they live to around about 500 years, or maybe a little bit older. Okay, I was close. Okay, 3,000,
yeah,
500.
I don't know what.
Shut up.
He said, "Put your drink come in."
I died. And do you know why I'm tired? Real quick, my son turned 18 on Sunday, and we had a big party. And one of our girlfriends, our best girlfriend, bloody showed up from Australia and snuck in, Miss Sarah. And I ended up having 40 18-year-olds at my house until 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God.
So I'm pretty tired, okay?
I'm so glad my guys went past that. I remember Oh, we can remember a party that turned up at my house. We had like 200 kids turn up. I was like,
Ah, and what did you do, Juliet, to get rid of them all? Do you remember that?
I yelled at a few of them. I did remove some of them. I went night clubbing and I came home to a party at my own house. Oh, that's right. I had to drive home some of these like bloody 17, 18-year-old boys and they're sitting in the car going, hey. I was like, don't even. Just don't. Hi, Ricky's mom. I'm like, just shut the fuck up. Yeah, driving home, drunk teenagers, putting them in taxis, and oh my God. Yeah.
That's why we became parents. But I tell you what, best part of being a parent to a teenager that can drive a car, they come down and pick you up. So that's what's happening after this. Anyway, hey, I love Bigfoot. Let's talk Bigfoot hoaxes, believe it or not. Have you got, do you want to start, Jules? Do you want me to start?
Let me see if I can just share. Hang on. Okay. Let's see.
Ooh,
does anybody know who Todd Standing is?
I don't know Todd. Not
okay.
personally.
Todd's has done a bunch of stuff.
I've done Todd.
He's done a bunch of stuff. So he apparently had these Bigfoot.
Is he the guy that has Bigfoot in his backyard and he's friends with them? Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought these guys. Yes.
Oh my God, like, I'm sorry, but this is kind of like some of his friends. This is this is me failing today. This is kind of some of the photos of these Bigfoot that he says are real.
Oh, okay.
So this is Jake. I think this is Jake the Bigfoot. He's written a book about these Bigfoot and how Jake was his friend.
Okay, so let's talk about each picture. So at the moment, Juliet's got 3 pictures up for anyone that's just listening to this. This guy's name is Todd Standing.
Todd Standing. Can you see this one as well that I'm putting?
Yeah, we can see the 3 pictures next to each other.
Can you see the one underneath?
No, just the 3 pictures.
Okay, all right, okay, cool. I just want you to look at this and then I'm going to show you something else. So
describe it to us for the people that are listening to us.
Okay, so there's one on the left-hand side which is like it's looking, another one's looking through a branch. It's got red hair. It's got no hair on its face. Looks like very beady eyes, which kind of look a little bit fake. The face looks a little bit plastic.
Got very high cheekbones.
Very, very high cheekbones. Yeah, and a big kind of juicy lips, biggish nose. And it's the nose that to me kind of looks like it's been altered and a little bit funny. So they don't look like your typical Bigfoot of what people think they would look like.
Yes. So there's 2 pictures on the left and then the one in the middle.
Yeah. So the one on the left, and it's also, they've also kind of got like this. Yeah, I don't know, this weird look about them. Then there's one in the middle, which is supposed to be, I think, a female. So the 2 on the left are supposed to be females, I think. And it's funny because like I've had a couple of different things look at them. So this one here is also behind a branch. You can only see one eye. Again, there's not a lot of hair on the face, but more. She's a lighter color, more of a blondie color, looking over a log with some snow on it. Yeah, again, the eyes. And then there's Jake. Now, this is the one that he said was his friend. He hasn't seen him in a while and he misses him. But Jake is, yeah, Jake is Jake. I'm not quite sure, but I do want to show you something about Jake. Jake's got very thin lips.
Yeah, so Jake looks like what you would imagine a Bigfoot to look like. Hair right down his forehead, dark little eyes, like a brow line, a wide nose, hair across his cheeks.
Very, very thin lips, like, which is, which I find really interesting. So, and it looks like, on the brow of the nose there, it looks like lines have been put in. I don't know. It's really...
So these don't look like,
What's your views on these ones,
so
Lisa?
these three don't look like they are associated to each other. They look different.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're the same species, if that would make sense, right? The first one, which doesn't have any hair on its face at all, it literally looks like it's got a hood of fur around it. You know, like when you pull your hoodie up on the jacket and you pull your hood real, real tight.
Yeah, yeah, and then there's just kind of like halfway through the brow, down kind of halfway down the cheeks to kind of like where the lips are. Looks like it's got a bit of hair on it and stuff.
Yeah. And so that looks really humanoid. I mean, like it looks really human. That could be a human. It's got really high cheekbones, looks very European, as opposed to what you would look for if you were looking at a Yowie, for example.
I was going to say a description of a Yowie.
Yeah,
And
which has a very broad nose, very flat face. This has a European almost nose where it's kind of got that little ski jump kind of nose, right?
yeah,
So I find that really interesting, and it's also just a really beautiful photo. It's beautifully framed and not blurry and beautifully framed. And that would probably
this
be the issue that I would have with that.
guy is notoriously known as a hoaxer as well, but he swears black and blue that these are the Sasquatch Bigfoot families that he's been following that he knows of.
The middle one, which is the female, which is the blonde kind of sandy hair one, looks far more Bigfoot-ish, if you could say that. She's got kind of like a droopy mouth, wider lips. It looks like there's more fur coming down through the cheekbones.
Yeah.
The eyes look less glassy. I think the first one on the left-hand side, they have real glass eyes, and you know, like those fake eyes that they put in dolls and that sort of stuff. That's kind of
yeah, and then the top of the nose is blurry. That's what kind of, to me, that's kind of, it's like they couldn't quite shade it properly. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, sorry, what was the big boy's name at the end there? Jake?
Apparently his name is Jake.
Jake the big boy kind of looks more like a Yowie from what we have seen. And also, he looks really similar to the photograph that we saw from our mate Rich up in Auckland in New Zealand. He took a photo randomly, saw this crazy little kind of Bigfoot entity poking his head out from the side of or from the top of a log, and he looks kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
And so I would be going for Jake as more real than the rest of them. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can be an expert in this industry, right? How do we know?
So, and then now I want to show you something else. This is going to blow your mind. So this, see it? This is outstanding. So people are saying it's actually him.
Wow, could be.
Could be. Yeah.
Oh, Todd, eh?
So they reckon that he's basically based this.
Oh, wow. So anyone that's just listening to us, essentially we get brought up a picture of Todd, who is a lovely gentleman, white guy with a beard, full mustache, and some lovely kind of comb over here going on. And then these guys have created this morph into what Jake
stages, yeah.
would be. And so essentially kind of morphed this guy Todd into,
with his thin lips, I might add.
lips, yes. The nose is obviously different, but the drop in the eyes and where the eyes are placed and the symmetry of the forehead. Yeah. Oh, Todd.
Crazy, eh?
Wow, Todd. Maybe Todd is a Bigfoot.
Maybe that's him changing.
Maybe.
Oh my God, they're shapeshifters. There we go. We have solved it.
That's why. And then when they die, they simply shapeshift back into humans. So that's why we've never found any Bigfoot bones.
Oh, so yeah, there we go. So I just, yeah.
Well done, you. Great pickings. I love it.
So yeah, so that is Todd Standing for anyone who wants to go and find his thing. But yeah, so he is a controversial Bigfoot researcher, suspected hoaxer, that has, you know, it's just, yeah, who knows?
Well,
But
look, I mean, like,
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, we all have these preconceived ideas of what we think a Bigfoot
thank
looks
you.
like.
Thank you.
And some of us throw more apish, some of us, like they're really tall, some people know they're really short, some are, more human like. And this is where you've got to talk about, there's got to be different species, different ones within the Bigfoot community, with the Bigfoot. There's different, like they're saying the ape skunk, the swamp ape, sorry, skunk ape, swamp ape, might be a swamp ape, who knows. Yeah, so who's to say that they're not like real Bigfoot? They're all different.
I think one of the biggest issues is we've got the media, like, Hollywood telling us what these friggin' things look like instead of us kind of going with the evidence that is being shown to us.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's one of the hardest things with, like you say, AI and the hoaxing and that sort of stuff. You have to start going, well, you know what? I'm only going to accept photographic evidence and video footage from the 1960s and back, or
And
something like that,
and this is where the issue comes in, because now we just don't know because of the AI and people are doing it. So I just want to
So
show
much there's
you.
so much manipulation. I mean, like we were AIing and bloody photoshopping back in the 80s, but
Yes.
now it's pretty crazy town, and I don't think you can trust your eyes as far as having a photo unless you get an original given to you and shown to you.
Yeah. So here's one more I want to show you.
Yeah, hit us. Hit us.
Here's
Oh, yes, thank you. I'm glad you brought this guy up.
Yeah. So, have you just got the picture there of him?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've got him. He's just coming up on YouTube now.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is a photo supposedly taken in Canada in 1894. Okay, so this is said to be the oldest known photograph of Bigfoot. Okay, so the photo had originally been sent to Tom Biscardi by Lyle Billett of Victoria, Canada. A Cryptomundo blogger, Lauren Coleman, then posted the photo on his website. And it's also in the updated version of the 1982 book, Bigfoot Casebook by Colin and Janet Board. It does not seem to be fake. So the photo actually shows a crease at the top of, like the photo has been creased. The Sasquatch, so anyone out there, Sasquatch is laying in the snow with its arms in front, so the hairy hands can be seen. The face is hairy but not very detailed. Snowshoes can be seen at the left edge of the photo, so it's kind of showing there's some validity there. There seems to be a fence in a building on the right side just beneath the crack. The feet of the dead Sasquatch are not seen, they are cropped out of the photo. So on the back of the photo, which I do have, so that's where let me just see if I can find the back of the photo. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm just carry on. Yeah. Go.
Such an old photo, and I've seen this image before. And I haven't done too much delving into it, but I was like, man, this could be a bear, a dog. It looks like a dog at some point. I was like, maybe it is a Sasquatch though. If you have any ideas, drop it in the comments for us. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. So it's very hard to read this. I don't know. Can you see the back of the photo?
Yeah, 1890.
Yeah, it's very, I've got actually what's written on the back. So it says, 1894, Yalcombe River, so Yalikom River, around Lillooet, BC, Forestry and Hudson Bay Co. They took the picture, and the guy that was in the picture went and stole them back from the forestry records because apparently they took them. He says, I believe his last name was Holiday, don't know first name. Never took all the pictures, only one. So there were other pictures available. So, but they have obviously all disappeared. So yeah, so I found that one really, really interesting. You know, it's very hard. This photo has been around for a very long time,
Sure.
well before the AI stuff started coming in. And yeah, it is a very, very interesting picture. It does look almost ape-like, kind of laying there. So, you know, and these people back in these times, they've got no reason to go, hey, here's a fake Bigfoot. There's just no reason for it. So,
But
yeah,
back
so,
in 1894, why are we taking the photos?
yeah, 1894. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's obviously something odd. They're not going to take photos of all the stuff that, you know, all the trapping and stuff that they do. They do it every day. They don't need to take photos of, you know, bears or wolves or foxes, whatever, you know, they're trapping, you know, or beavers or whatever. So this was obviously an anomaly for them. So that's why they took the photo. But there were several photos taken, but this is the only one that's come to light.
Very interesting. Oh, I
Mm.
like that, especially in Canada because there's so many encounters and it's so vast.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if there was a population of Sasquatch or Bigfoot out and around that area, you'd never find them.
No,
Like, not
no,
possible.
absolutely not. Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Perfect ecosystem to live
yeah,
in, isn't
I'll bring it up
it?
again for you guys.
Yeah,
So
it's the perfect ecosystem for them to live in. Now, I've seen a few other pictures kind of similar to this as far as not having the Bigfoot in, but the older kind of types of photos. You can see very clearly that it's been creased at the top, it's been folded
yeah.
at the top there. And I've seen, I would love some people to do some forensic on this and kind of some really some cleanup and that sort of stuff on.
Yeah, yeah. I think they have tried to find the other photos through like through the Hudson Bay, I think. Was it the Hudson Bay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
back through there where the photos went. So I think they have tried to find the other photos. But yeah, it's had
wow.
nothing. So it's a really interesting thing. I mean, it does look very human in body shape. The smaller head, the long arms, but like where the hands are, you can't see fingers or anything like that. They're quite like hairy. But then again, you know, these things are in the middle of the snow. Of course, they're going to be having more hair over them. They're going to have, you know, a lot more coverage on them to survive and stuff like that. So, you know, they say like their fingers, but like I can't see hands. Me personally, I cannot see hands. I maybe need my glasses on.
Oh, no,
Um,
I can't see that either. And that's why I was like, it could easily, it looks like a dog with
It
potential.
does look a little bit like a dog, but apparently it's kind of more face down.
Mm.
So its face isn't showing, the face is kind of down. It does look like there's something like a bit of an ear on there, like a smaller ear. But then, you know,
Yeah.
if it was a dog, you'd have ears, you'd have big pointy ears and stuff. So there's like a little bit there. It does look like a shoulder. You've got to give it
Yeah.
that. You know, it looks like there's a neck, there's a shoulder which comes down to the arms, and the body's kind of long and lean, and it does look like it's going off into, you know, the thighs down to legs. So yeah, who knows? But I mean, that's it. It's one of those things that's like, you know, again, we've got to go back to the fact that they wouldn't take a photo of something and fake a Bigfoot sighting back in 1894. It's just not kind of,
No, no. It was
yeah.
all about survival back then. I mean, like what
Oh,
and
yeah.
gold mining, essentially,
Yeah, yeah.
why would you bother?
No. Yeah.
Really interesting. Ooh,
Hmm.
I like.
Yeah, so that was kind of yeah, that was kind of interesting. So what do you think, Lisa?
Wow, I think that's really interesting, and I love the fact that you brought that photo because I was going to bring that photo, and then I was like, no. So I'm really, I was like, no, no, I'm not going to do that. So I'm really glad that you did because I knew that that was one of the earliest ones. There's talk about something, another photo that potentially was earlier, but I couldn't seem to locate potentially that photo. It was the problem living in New Zealand and Australia is we have a tricky internet situation, and we won't go too deep into that, but we can't search easily. So
Yeah.
it takes a little.
And even going to be less next year.
Yeah, it takes far more time for us to kind of go deeper into things than I think other countries. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you've seen this stuff before, we apologize. But I do have a couple of Australian
Oh, go.
Bigfoot encounters and sightings with photographic evidence. So I thought I was going to bring these puppies to the forefront so everyone could see, because we all talk about America and, you know, kind of the Sasquatch space over there. Let's talk Australia, right? Let's go way back, not 1800s. You went way, way, way back. Halfway back. Halfway back. We're going to go to 1932 in New South Wales in Australia. Do you know what I'm talking about, Juliet?
Nope, go.
She researched this one.
Nope, nope, I do not.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit concerned that we were both bringing the same stuff and then I'd be right upset. All right. I've got a story for you and I think you're going to like it. And then I've got a photo to show you and you can tell me what you think afterwards. All right. Give me your rundown. All right. In the early 1930s, during the Depression, a guy called Reg Jones was working at an isolated loggers camp in Batlow, a rugged part of the Snowing Mountains in New South Wales in Australia. Juliet, where is New South Wales?
North. North of Melbourne. No, it's like, oh yeah, it's on the east, like you're coming down. So it's kind of, it's between Queensland and Victoria. It's in there. Come on, people, get them out.
Australia, it's kind of down here-ish, right? So
Yeah.
it's Northern Territories at the top, but it's down the bottom here, where they've got beautiful snowy mountains, huge rugged.
It's not down the bottom, it's in the middle. New South Wales is in the middle. Victoria and Adelaide and stuff, we're down the bottom. It's in the middle, Lisa. But on the east side.
She's got no idea where she lives right now. Anyway, so it's in New South Wales, around 450 kilometers southwest of Sydney. Okay. For Reg, just having a steady job was something to be grateful for. But in his spare time, he and a few mates would head off into the bush with their trusty box brownie camera, 1932, little box camera that he absolutely loved. He was a photographer, very avid photographer, loved it, and would always
self-develop. And yeah, how cool is that? Loved it.
Which at the time he actually bought this box brownie. It cost him 19 shillings and 6 pence. Was it? So it was on one of these outings in 1932 that Reg captured a photograph that would later become one of the more unusual and controversial pieces of evidence linked to the Yowie. In a series of images, one frame appears to show a large figure sitting just behind two men who are resting on a log, which are his mates that he went for this walk with. The figure seems to be seated with his hands in its lap. His head is kind of angled downwards and almost like it's resting near his chest, almost like he doesn't have a neck. And I'll show you this photo and you can tell me what you think. Some of who have examined the photo claim it resembles a Yowie or a Bigfoot-like creature. Those obviously those ideas and those opinions are divided, right?
As always.
But the story doesn't stop with the photo, right? So as I was doing my research, I realized that in fact he had had other encounters prior to taking this photo. And it's not very clear until you start researching and realize there's a connection here that nobody has kind of really put down into a blog post or whatever. So we might turn this into an article. So basically in the weeks leading up to this photo being taken, Reg had been hearing the old timers around the campfire telling stories where he was logging. They would talk late at night, swapping tales of strange things in the bush. When Reg asked if it might be some sort of animal that they knew, the men were like, no, we don't know what it was. We know the animals that are in the Australian bush. This is not them. Yep. Right? Very, very clear. We don't know what this stuff is, but it's dangerous. And there are tales of one of the loggers falling over a waterfall essentially and being ripped to pieces, and some pretty gnarly stuff happening in and around that sort of area. Yeah, very deep in the forest. Anyway, Reg himself had an encounter in his cabin not long before the photograph was taken. And get this, Jules, is going to blow your mind. Just wait for it, everyone. One night while he was asleep, he felt something shaking his shoulder, trying to wake him up. Startled, he opened his eyes and found a large dingo standing next to his bed, nudging him awake. That experience left him unsettled, and it added weight to the strange stories that had been shared by the other old boys around the campfire.
So
And
was the dingo on 4 legs or on 2 legs?
it was a large dingo inside his cabin,
Okay.
shifting his shoulder to wake him up with his hand, with his paw. Paw.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went, Bigfoot, dog man.
Dog man. Yeah. Yep.
In
Dingo.
1932, in 1932, there's no dog man. There's only a really large dingo.
Yeah, and there are very, very large dingoes that are like through history, so they've kind of got smaller.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also so many encounters in Australia and in New South Wales of dog man, and not the dark kind of shaggy.
Like blonde dog man and stuff like that.
This
Yeah.
is literally where my brain went. I went, a giant dingo shaking you to wake up. I'm like, in your cabin. Number one, how did he get in your cabin? Why is he shaking you with his paw to wake you up on the shoulder? Like, stuff is weird.
Dude, wake up, wake up. Why would he put his wet nose in his face or something? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then came the photograph in 1932, a still frame of two men. Oh, sorry, this goes back through blah 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 blah. So I'm going to show you this photo now, and then you can tell me what you think. So just give me 2 seconds while I pull this up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. Oh, just lost you there. Sorry. Where have you gone? Here she is. All right, I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to show you this photo. All right, can you see this? So this is the photo
Yep.
that Reg Jones took in 1932. His two mates sitting on a log. This is obviously blown up, so low definition. It's pretty pixelated. But very clearly at the back is something
Sitting there.
sitting on a log. He looks like he's got his hands between his legs. He looks very muscular.
I can't see his head though. It's like his head's been chopped off. It could be just my glass. I need my glasses.
No. Yeah, it is very, very. And so initially I was like, this looks like a ghost, an apparition.
Yeah.
Of a giant, because he's huge. He's not small.
Yeah.
And he's literally sitting behind these two young men, in their 20s or whatever they are. So, yeah, what do you think?
Interesting. Very interesting.
And I don't know why it says Rich Jones 1928, because God knows what that is. But it's Reg Jones 1932.
Yeah. And like you look at the picture of him and he looks like he's almost just disappearing into the photo, but so do the two guys.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but there's a weird arm on that guy. It's like the one closest to him. There's like this bright light, and then it's like his arm is kind of hanging down weirdly.
Yeah. So this is not AI generated. I can guarantee.
No, this is not AI. This is an old photo.
Old photo. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like the whole kind of and I mean those back in those times, it's like the photo.
And also like remembering, like, in Australia, Australia has incredibly bright sunlight.
Yeah.
Like incredibly, because there's not. So.
Yeah, I mean it does, and you can almost see like there's a shadow of the head there, but you can't really see the head. It's a little bit whether he's looking, but you can kind of see that there's almost like a shadow, kind of like on the guys.
I think that's what they were talking. Like the theory is that he's got his head hanging down, but he's massive, right? Whatever this is,
and you can literally see like a triangle going down from where the head's supposed to be. You can see big bicep muscles and shoulder muscles, and and literally the hands resting, the arms resting on the legs. his legs apart. He's standing there, like one leg seems to disappear on the left-hand side, but I think that's because there's a bush or something there. So it looks like there's leaves and that kind of stuff there, and there's stuff in front of them. So
No,
yeah,
like he looks like a giant, right? And this is like when
yes.
I first saw this, I was like, this doesn't fit the Yowie.
Is it a giant or is it a yellow? I mean, that's it. It's
But after doing the Nephilim in the South Pacific a couple of weeks ago, there's so many theories and evidence to show that there were a giant humanoid population living in Australia, 100%.
yeah,
There
yeah,
are footprints, there were tools that have been found, and they were very well known or very well recorded by Indigenous populations to cut down all the trees. They were really big on logging and mining, apparently. They there's proof to show that in burial sites across the world that are seen to be giant humans, they've been buried with ornate jewels and
yeah,
copper's a big one, and that sort of stuff. And they were said to have mined copper and that sort of stuff, other elements in Australia.
yeah, yeah. It's really interesting because you can see the sunlight coming down over its shoulders and the brightness on the shoulders. The same thing. So it's coming from like this. The sun is coming from the side and it's kind of coming down. You can see the same shadow on the same side of the guy as the guys. They've got those kind of shadows that are stuff there, but there's that real brightness like behind the guys there, which is really interesting. One guy looks like he's got a mask on, like almost like got something wrapped around his face.
Yeah.
That's
That, I
or
mean,
it could just be the exposure or something.
yeah,
That was something really bright there. Maybe there was something white or something behind them that's kind of done that
or
exposure.
maybe they were swimming, I don't know. But yeah, it's such
Yeah,
an interesting photograph, right? So if you
yeah,
want to look this photo up, all you have to do is look up Reg Jones, R-E-G Jones, 1932, and you'll be
yeah.
able to find this photo and have a look at it. It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the more you start kind of going, okay, my eye is now actually focusing. Actually, when you actually look at the other guy, you can see a very faint outline. He's got his hands crossed as well, his arms crossed, so you can actually see them. You can see part of where his arm is and the breast and that kind of stuff. Yeah, really,
Crazy, eh?
really interesting. Very, very
Yeah,
interesting.
and the story goes that Reg actually took a bucket load of photos that day on his brownie box camera, and nothing else, no problems. And then as he was looking through, he was just like, "What is that?" As it happens quite often if you're doing a paranormal investigation.
But did he not take it specifically because it was there, or it
Oh,
was just there?
no, it was just there. It
It
was
was
just there.
there.
He took a photo of the guy sitting on a log. His,
That's interesting because then that will kind of explain how even today people take photos of Bigfoot and it blurs out, or there's some other thing going on. So that so even back then, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things to do with exposure and all that kind of. I've done my own
definitely.
galloping and stuff of photographs, and it's
I mean, I don't think it's parabolia. I don't think you're trying to see something that.
No, there's definitely something there. It's big, and you can make up like I say, you can make up the shoulders, you can make up the biceps, the arms, the legs. Yeah, definitely something there. Very, very interesting. Like, I mean, like if anybody out there wants to dispute these, do it, man. This is fun.
Wasn't it? I got a question. I've got a question. This is actually a really bloody good question. Camzilla.
Camzilla. I like it, Camzilla.
It says, I'm a big Bigfoot believer, but I have to ask, who do you think would win in a fight, a Sasquatch or a Wendigo? Good question.
Sasquatch.
Why?
Because he'd probably just rip him in half. There's a little Wendigo, but like, he'd be like, rip him in half. Yeah, sorry.
Oh God, and there he goes.
Yeah, Sasquatch. What about you, Lisa?
Well, I don't know. Like Wendigos are pretty fucking scary, especially if they show up with horns.
They're scary, but they're skinny little buggers.
Yeah, they're skinny little runts, right? And look, if you go for the original and you take the horns off the head,
yeah, the real ones which had no horns,
they're just like cannibalized freaks.
Or
Look,
it'll just be like, it'll be like a fly on Sasquatch. It'll be just like, oh, toof. The Wendigo just like flies away. Yeah. Like, absolutely Sasquatch. Yeah. You know, and the Wendigo for me comes under more of a supernatural,
yeah.
supernatural creature is more than a biological. I mean, it's definitely, you know, you've got that biological side to it, but yeah. It's very, very
Paracryptid, right?
paracryptid, yeah, paracryptozoology. You know what Lisa and I discuss all the time, these crossovers between, you know, it's a cryptid that's got all the supernatural stuff around it, and
yeah. And it's so tricky, right? And that's one of the reasons why we kind of went, we've got to have some sort of segregation where we ourselves can categorize how do you interpret the indigenous stories and put that into some sort of a usable space. And so we were like, well, you have your cryptids and then you have to have your paracryptids.
Yeah, you've got your real biological things, and then you've got that kind of the paracryptozoology. And
yeah, where like a megalodon would be a cryptid, right? Cryptozoology space.
Or a lost dinosaur, an old dinosaur.
Not a dinosaur. Dinosaurs aren't real. We know this.
All dragons. Just saying.
All right, I've got the next one. Oh my God, can't wait to talk about dragons soon. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Got the next one, okay? The next one is the Nimbin Yowie. Nimbin.
Is this from the Northern Territories?
Nimbin, New South Wales.
New South Wales again. Yeah, New South Wales, there's a lot of stuff going on in New South Wales.
So this is quite recent in the last couple of years. It was reported on March the 5th, pardon me, a few years back. So I've got a wee little story, and then I've got a couple of photos, and you tell me what you think. There are a lot of theories around this one. Hoax, real, hoax, real, hoax, real. I don't know. Okay, so I'll read you the story, and then I'll show you the picture, all right? So it was March the 5th, somewhere near Nimbin in northern New South Wales, when the tale of a possible Yowie sighting captured public attention. According to reports published in the media, a group of locals claimed that a large hairy creature consistent with descriptions of the Yowie had been observed in the bushland now near Nimbin. One of the more striking claims was that the creature was caught on camera. The images, though grainy, of course, because we like to take pictures with our Nokia, show a figure that observers say appears erect. I just said that on television. Erect with a heavy build. The posture in the photo is upright, and the silhouette suggests, come here, you beautiful man-child, a bipedal form. Very quickly, let's all say happy birthday, Hunty boy. Right, get out. Okay, thank you.
Yay.
That's my ride, team. I got to get out of here. But first, let me tell you the story. So it shows a figure that observers say stands really, really tall with a heavy build. The posture in the photo is upright, and the silhouette suggests a bipedal form. In the reporting, some describe the limbs, arms and legs as discernible, though not sharply defined, so blurry creature, right? And the body appears to be covered in dark hair. Those who reported the sighting said the creature had been seen walking along the ridgelines and moving through dense vegetation. Local witnesses reportedly reacted with a surprise, no shit, and alarm, also no. Presence of the creature, if genuine, would be well outside the bounds of normal wildlife in that region. Obviously, like if you're going to see something like that, you know it's crazy, right? You know that that's not normal.
You know it's not, and you're feeling your body going, oh my God, you know that. It's like your whole body will just go on alert because they are predators and you are prey.
Predator. Yes.
Your whole body will just be like, yikes.
I am the prey. Skeptics have questioned the images. Of course they have. They point out that the resolution is low, lighting conditions are poor, and features are ambiguous, as every good photo should be. Some suggest the possibility of misidentification, What are you going to misidentify that as?
Random dude hanging out in the bush with his possums. And in Australia, it could happen.
Perhaps a known animal seen at awkward angles or shadows creating illusions. No, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Others propose that it could be a hoax or a costume. Obviously, there's no facial features, but you can see kind of not musculature, but you can see kind of stature,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So let's have a wee looky schmooky at these guys. Looky schmooky. Looky schmooky. Okay, hold on. Hold, please. Everyone. Juliet, would you mind playing some hold music? Just
Boom, chaka, wow, wow. That's probably the first
that is not hold music.
thing that popped into my head. Sorry, guys.
What? What is wrong with you? I'm so sorry, everyone. Okay. Wow.
This is when they want to know how did this little baby get there. We're like, they did boom chaka wow wow, and the kid's like, okay. End of conversation.
And that's the birds in the
And
bed.
that was a conversation this morning, so that's why I was in my head. About kangaroos.
Oh my god. All right. So here you go.
Oh.
What do you reckon? This is the Nimbin Yowie.
Well, number one, it's not blurry. You can obviously see like something walking. Its arm is going down past its butt cheek. It's kind of coming back.
Which is a very, very common trait of the Yowie, having
very common trait. Yeah, it's kind of long. He does look like he's in a walking motion. So if they've kind of taken the photo, yes, he would be on an awkward angle because he's walking.
Yeah, they are very fucking close to it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so you can kind of see like different coloring in the fur, which is kind of good because like most people will be like, oh, it's just all one color or something like that.
Also, he doesn't have a neck, right? And that is another strong trait of a Yowie. He doesn't have a neck. It goes straight down to his shoulders.
Yeah. And the legs, I know what the grass and stuff is like here. It's really effing long. It's really thick.
Sure.
And so that grass and stuff that's in front of there, damn right, you probably hardly see anything because this is the type of grass that we go through here when we go to the heritage park and we're walking along, and next minute you're 2 foot away from a freaking kangaroo and you have to back off. You're like, Jesus, so I understand like the thickness of the bush, of the grass.
And can we check out the mane, almost like that dark hair running down his back? I haven't seen that before. I haven't really looked at it in this.
But it is common. Having a darker mane down the back is common.
A strip of kind of hair down the back of his neck. Yeah.
And the fur looks scruffy on him. It's like, there's a bit poking out there and wow, I don't know. I've never seen this one before, and I find this one quite interesting, to be honest. And the shape, you can tell he's kind of like on an angle, so he's walking, so the body shape looks a little bit off. But anyone would if they're kind of walking and it was taken on a bit of a weird angle.
And they look like they're on the road. So that yellow sign.
That's a sign. That's a sign. And it's a typical brown bloody.
But maybe they've taken it through out the window of their car or something and zoomed.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So, crazy, huh?
Interesting. Yeah.
So for anyone
that is a very, very interesting photo for me.
For anyone that can't see this photo that's just listening, basically they've obviously taken this photo from their car driving down the side of the road or whatever, down the motorway, because you can see like a little kind of like a yellow sign with a black arrow, which is a corner sign. And then essentially it's this big black kind of what looks like man ape.
From about the waist up.
From the waist up, with big long grass kind of coming up and through. What you would think a Bigfoot would look like, right? That kind of general Hollywood view of what Bigfoot would look like in the bush with trees all around him.
Yeah, really. That's a really interesting photo. I can't say yay or nay on that one, and that makes it interesting for me. That does definitely make it interesting for me because, you can pretty much pick up this is a fake one. You can kind of tell that kind of, and I was looking around the edges of it and seeing if there's some weird blurring or trying to blend, and that's where they go wrong because they try to blend them into these places and stuff like that. So
Okay, I've got another one for you, which was taken in a similar area.
yeah.
Um,
Is this the same one or is it a different one?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't tell you if it's the same one, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I just thought it was
same,
a second
no,
photo.
I believe it's a different one. It was taken around the same area. There was about 4 or 5 photos of what they think was the same creature around the same sort of area taken by different people. So have a look at this one and tell me what you think.
I mean, it's obviously smaller, or it seems to be down. There's like really thicket and trees and bush
We
kind
know,
of
like,
scrubby land stuff around
we
it.
know that there have been apes and chimpanzees released in Australia, right? We know this. We know that the Europeans brought a bunch of animals that shouldn't have come over to Australia and set them free, essentially, including apes and chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Strongly doubt that those animals are still alive in 2018, which was when this photo was taken. But we don't know. I mean, like,
I mean,
where
there's definitely something there it's
so this photo was it's almost like in the fog, in grassland,
yeah,
and
again, it's that
shadow.
I can't remember the name of these like these trees and stuff, but they get really dry in summer and they just kind of it's thick, like you can't get through the damn things.
Yeah.
And they are quite tall. I would say this, whatever it is small. It could be like a juvenile or something. It looks smaller. It doesn't look like it's bending down or anything.
It looks like it's walking away, but again, there's like a little black line down
It's
its.
a black line, and then like the shoulders is lighter.
Sure.
It's like a lighter kind of
Yeah, and it's definitely bipedal, standing on 2 feet. You can see
bipedal.
what looks like an arm down one side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is kind of looks a little skinny but odd. You can kind of see the stuff behind it, but yeah,
Hmm.
that's an interesting one.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. What do you think? What do you think,
Mm,
baby?
yeah, not sure about that one. It
Tricky.
just it looks a little odd, like
Mm.
the arm of it. But then again, it's like, what were the weather conditions? Was it foggy? Was it, that's the kind of how big does she think that it was? All
And
that
how far
kind of
away? There's so many
how far
variables in
away.
each
Yeah,
photo,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Whereas the other photo, you're like, damn, there it is.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
this one's kind of like, it's a little bit grainy. So where was it? It was
New South Wales.
New South Wales, 2018. You said, yeah,
Yeah, that was 2018.
yeah.
You're pretty crazy, hey?
So where did she see it? Is there much? What's the story behind
Um,
it?
so that was one. They think that that was the same as the Nimbin Yowie sighting. So there was about 5 or 6 different photos that kind of came out around the same sort of within a couple of days of each other around the same sort of area.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, that they talk about, you know, like in the States, they talk about the Bigfoot coming from Alaska and coming. That they got that. Yeah. What's to say that it wasn't passing through. Wherever it was, but New South Wales definitely has a lot of activity. New South Wales is one of the. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's massive, right? Like there's so many encounters and activity around
Blue
Australia.
Mountains, all those areas. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, okay, let's just run back through. So let's talk about Juliet's one first, which was Jake and his glassy-eyed friends from pod. Do we think that that is a hoax or do we think that's real?
I don't think they're real.
Hoax?
Yeah, I do. The glassy eyes, the blurred out parts of them when they're trying to do the noses, and then you see that kind of that crossover of him and stuff like. Yeah,
Yeah, him moving in.
I
shape
Yeah.
could be, like
Yeah.
the Bigfoot.
Yeah. It's not saying that Bigfoot don't look like that or that you've got different looks, but I don't believe those ones at all.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Todd is possibly full of shit. And I would like Todd to come and tell us. I would like to see some more photographic evidence. Todd, if you're listening, if someone knows Todd, get him in touch with us. Send us your photographic evidence.
talk
Get
to
us,
us. Tell us your story, man.
get us on a video call
Prove it wrong.
with those Bigfoot. Let's
And
talk.
we apologize to Jake and all the other Bigfoot if we have got it wrong.
No, look, you know what? At the end of the day, you know, Juliet and I joke about this sort of stuff all the time, but we are the last people to sit here and say you are full of shit. You are.
Yeah.
Are
It's our perception of how we see these photos, what we believe. It's not everyone else's opinion. It's just ours. And
absolutely. And at the end of the day, an opinion's like an asshole. Everyone has one.
and we can be assholes.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with hoaxy schmoxy on that one. But I would love to be proven wrong. So Todd,
Me too. I would like Jake to be real. That would be cool.
Okay, so the next one that you brought up was
Frozen little.
Yes.
I think it's a real photo. What it is, I'm 50-50 on. But like we were saying, I think they wouldn't have taken a photo of it if it wasn't unusual. They're not going to sit there and go, I'm going to take a photo of a bear, I'm going to take a photo of this or of this. Yeah. It is obviously unusual. It could be a juvenile. That's why it's a lot leaner. Yeah, and
I agree. There's credibility and validity in the fact that
credibility. Yeah.
And the fact that why would you take, like back in those days, why would you take a photo of a beaver? Why would you take a photo of a bear? Well, you're not going to, you're going to take a photo of something that's odd.
That's unusual. That's odd. Yeah. So that kind of gives it more validity for me that it is something unusual to them. So whether it's a Bigfoot or not, or yeah, I don't know. I can't 100% say. But I do think there is definitely something.
There's something there, yeah, for sure. Something that's undiscovered or is unusual and not normal, not in the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good decision. I like that. Okay, so let's talk about my one, Reg. Let's talk about Reg Jones and the photo that he took of the of his mate sitting on the log.
Oh, that one's really interesting. That's really interesting. You can tell there's something there. Yes. Like the fact that he took the photo, he said that he didn't know that it was there, did he?
Didn't see anything there. Just
why was the photo? So my thing is like, okay, maybe he did because the guys were there and then there was like this big space in the photo for that Bigfoot, because otherwise if he hadn't, it would have just been a log that was there and bush. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
So
placing of the boys in that photo itself.
Placing of the boys, and then there is definitely a figure as such there, but I think he knew that he had to have known that there was something there. So him going, I didn't know something was there, or maybe the story got crossed over and he was just like, here it is. Yeah, so that one, yeah, it's an interesting photo, but the story that he says that it wasn't there and the way the photo is positioned, that kind of makes me query it.
Interesting. Well, all sources say that that's a real photo. It's untampered with. So that's what.
If it is a real photo, then I believe he knew it was there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the guys are down in the corner, and then all of a sudden, in this full frame of this photo, is this thing sitting there. So he must have known it was there.
There was a reason why he took it.
There was a reason he took it.
There's a reason why he framed it.
Yeah.
Let's go on average.
Or maybe he kind of, like you said, he had encounters earlier on. Maybe it's one of those things, where people sense things. They know things are there, but you can't see them. You know what I mean? So there could be, so maybe he kind of set it up to be like, hey guys, just sit there, and because they didn't look very happy, to be honest. So maybe he kind of took it to see if what he was feeling was there. So, like we do with ghost hunting,
I mean, like,
yeah.
it was a hard life back then. They didn't have running
Yeah.
water, they didn't have electricity. It was only fire, especially up in the hills and in the logging area. There was nothing to do. It was literally like, and it was during the depression. It was a horrible time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of negative emotion and a lot of death and a lot of fear within that space. And so, yeah, I mean, that's it. Be it a Yowie or a Quincan or a like interdimensional, apparitional giant.
I believe he knew something was there, and that's why he took that photo.
Well,
Whether he saw it or not, I don't know.
yeah, the fact that he had an encounter with a dog man / giant dingo next to his bed.
Tapping him on the shoulder, like I do. Yeah, that's a little interesting.
That got me going. I was like, oh my God, you had a dog man encounter a few weeks prior to taking this photo.
Yeah.
And we always hear encounters of dog man and Bigfoot together, right? Always in New Zealand and Australia and in the States.
So obviously he was open to it in some sort of thing. So yeah. So that one I'm a 50-50. I'm intrigued by it though.
Yeah, intrigued. Yeah. I think we might do some more digging on that one. Okay, what about my last one, the Nimbin Yowie?
The big standing up in the grass one.
Yeah, walking through the grass.
I'm very intrigued by that one. I don't see any kind of hoaxing around it. I'm very intrigued. It's not like they tried to make it perfect or anything like that. I can understand by the photo, the angle where, the Bigfoot looks a little bit off.
Yes.
He looks a little bit weird shaped. And I think if you're trying to hoax it, you would try and make that perfect. You know what I mean? You'll try and make it, oh my God, here's his actual body. But you could tell the angle that he was on and he was walking, that his body was kind of like at a bit of an odd angle from where they took the photo. The mane down the back was really interesting. The shading of, not the shading, but the different coloring.
The different coloring in the mane, yeah.
Mane, yeah, definitely. I'm kind of going towards more of a real for that one. I really am. I am kind of going, the more I think about that one, and I definitely am going to be looking into that one more.
Very cool.
I'd like to go and talk to those boys.
Pop up to the New South Wales area.
Yes, ma'am.
And then obviously we've got the last one, which was a photo taken in the same area of potentially the same Yowie or the same entity. So
I mean, that's again, why would they take a photo of this thing being out in So it'll be interesting to know more about that photo. I'd like to learn more. Was it taken from their house? Was it taken from them being out in the bush? Was it, what was the whole kind of setup around this photo? And that's, that's what we look at, when we research stuff, it's like time of day, weather, what was the situation? What was your mindset? Why were you out there? All those kinds of things. So it would be really interesting to know more about that photo.
I think especially like the Nimbin Yowie, there's been so many sightings and photos and that sort of stuff taken. It'd be really, really good to dive deeper into that one.
The Nimbin area is like very,
yeah, we've heard about that one. So okay, that's all I got. In fact, I do have another one, but it's an American one, and it's all about the skunk ape. It was the very first photos of the skunk ape taken.
Oh, hang on, here we go. Hang on, let me just try and do this.
But that's why I wanted to go into the Australian ones, because I knew that you were going to bring up kind of American ones as well.
Yeah, there's some American ones. Hang on.
A little bit into the South Pacific we go.
Here we go. I'm going to bring up.
Are you sharing?
I am going to share one last one. So,
go Juliet, share your screen. This is so interesting. I love this stuff. The other frozen guy. Yay.
A frozen dude. I'll try and not make him. So this is the frozen. Can you see the picture okay? Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
So this is the frozen juvenile Sasquatch, said to be discovered in 1980 after the eruption of Mount St. Helens. This has circulated in cryptid lore for decades, often resurfacing with new photos or secondhand accounts.
Mm.
According to this version, the body was allegedly found intact in 1981 with DNA, hair, and flesh samples taken before it, and dozens of others were secretly removed by authorities.
Mm.
Supporters argue that the photographic evidence is clear and authentic, and skeptics have said no, it is a fake.
Of course.
But here is the reality. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. While pictures and stories like these are compelling, without verifiable documentation and scientific testing or credible sources, it is hard for us to understand. And there is no confirmed DNA results, chain of custody, or official reports. That does not mean anything, though. The official reports and chain of custody, we all know that's on, you know.
Yeah. That is whoever owns the chain of reports.
It's or whoever owns it. So that's not a thing. But yeah, so I understand that. But Mount St. Helens, so they're saying that it was after the eruption.
Yes.
So to me, it's like, where was it found? Was it killed by, because if it was close to Mount St. Helens, there'd be nothing left of it. It would be ash.
Sure.
Because it would have been the heat from that thing.
Yeah.
But yes, it could have also been on the other side and died from the poisonous gases and that kind of stuff. It's interesting. It's a really, really interesting photo. But
I love that you've brought this guy up. So this is 100% a photo of a juvenile yowie lying in the snow, essentially on and around Mount St. Helens on its way out of there, right?
The eruption. Yeah. And it does look like it's in some weird sort of rigor mortis. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, oh, it's just there and it's laying. It's like, it looks stressed, its head's back, its hands all kind of crunched up to its body. Yeah.
So I've heard a couple of stories around this one. I'm very well aware of this photo and the story that it. And the both sides of this story. There's a lot of people that have had parents, uncles, that have been a part of parks and recreation and that sort of stuff up and around that mountain area. And the research that I've done on a very, very small amount was very split down the middle of people saying, oh, my dad worked there, da 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 da, never heard any stories about this, it's bullshit. But then there's also this other side where there are stories coming out saying, yeah, well, my uncle worked there and he told me stories of this.
Yeah.
They knew. And we hear this quite often when it comes to, again, the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger in Australia, of these native park reserve managers and the rangers and stuff being told not to talk about it. My dad used to work for the Department of Conservation New Zealand. He found giant bones and he was told not to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I think these images and these stories that are wrapped around these images can't be discredited, right? We can't throw them away in the rubbish bin altogether simply for the fact that you don't have a body DNA evidence or anything else. If there's a photograph, that means that there is some form of an evidence trail and it should be followed as much as humanly possible. And I kind of hope that the people that have been involved in the parks and in the ranger services and that sort of stuff, at some point in their life come to the point where they say, you know what, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. And look, honestly, a few of them have, but
they have.
It's like, we know evidence is lost, evidence is covered up, these bodies disappear, like the giants, for example, they're all coming out. Smithsonian is is like one of the biggest like destroyers of history. They've finally come out to admit that they have purposely destroyed giant bones and any type of history, written history, or anything like that. They've destroyed it when it comes to giants. So again, this is what's going on with the Bigfoot, and this is what I believe is happening with the Bigfoot, that there's this huge big cover up of evidence that is found. People talk all the time of going, I found hair samples, I found this, I've sent it through, oh, it's disappeared. It just happens all the time. So yeah, so these pictures, and what I find about this picture is really interesting is the hand.
Yes.
You know, it's like, maybe I should share that again.
A very
Uh,
ape-like hand, like a chimpanzee kind
the
of.
hand, yeah, and the way the rigor mortises kind of come across the hand, you can literally see those finger bones going up into the hand, and
Yes,
that's kind of
incredible.
basically what happens. You know, I'm just thinking, but if you have seen a past body, you know, that rigor mortis sets in, you know, whether it be animal or human, you know, and those bones do kind of contort a little bit and they can kind of pop out a little bit. So, you know, and I find that the same as, like, you know, the face, like the mouth is open, the eyes are open, and the head is kind of contorted back. You know, this is a creature that has not died in a very pleasant way. You know what I mean? And you can tell.
And I
Um,
think in the original photo of this, or the high def photo of this, it's actually got fangs or some like quite long canines. Um, I remember seeing this one. So which is interesting because Yowies have been sighted with fangs or canines, quite long canine teeth, right?
Hang on, I do have a close up of the head, so let's try
Let's
and
see if we can find that because it's really interesting.
yeah, here we go. So can you see the head?
Oh yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, so there's that, yeah, a little bit bangy, but
Best.
you know,
Mr.
you can kind of see that is yeah, provide for, yeah, you can kind of see, like, even the nose, even the way the faces and the eyes and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's, yeah, it's really interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and like the width of the nose, right? We see that with the Yowie pictures and descriptions in Australia, right? They have this really, really wide,
Wide nose. Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
wide mouth and juicy
And
lips.
that's it. When the point, you know, people know, like, when these volcanoes hit and these poisonous gases come down, you are dead.
Oh,
Bang! It's seconds, and that's kind of almost what looks like what's happened to this thing. Like, it's gone. Oh my god, I can't breathe. Gone. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So eyes open, mouth open, just a weird kind of, yeah.
very interesting.
Really
Very
interesting. It's yeah, be really, but you know, like we said, so much stuff gets hidden. Who knows these days? And
And look, honestly though, if you've got a bone that you want us to look at, if you've got a photo that you want us to look at, if you've
send
got
it
a
through, man.
skull, you just
Yeah,
send it on through. No, but in all honesty, we have had people send us photos, send us images, send us video footage.
yeah. That don't want to be made public, you know,
Sure,
that
talk
they're
to us
very,
about bones
yeah,
that we've found in the wilderness. If you have questions, if you need direction, guidance, feel free. Feel free to touch base with us. Even better, jump onto the website, come and talk to us on the website, send us an email via the website, cryptidwomensociety.com. That's the best way of getting in touch with us.
because we have experts
Yep.
that, you know, we can put you onto that will be like, oh, okay, this
Part of
is,
the
yeah,
society, supporters within our society as well, and people that are, guys and girls that are a part of what we do with Cryptid Women's Society in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. And I think the more we share with the right people, the more the right message comes through and the right evidence is collected, and we're able to then document that and keep it safe.
we've gathered evidence and gone, oh, this is kind of cool. And then, you know, like, you kind of forget, actually, no. You kind of go back, hey, you reanalyze it, you kind of go back, yeah, no, okay, no, that's not it. That's not what we thought it is, you know, and that's it. You know, you have to be very analytical. You have to be very kind of solid in the science side of stuff, but we are open to that supernatural side as well. So
You have to scrutinize your work and the evidence that comes through, or the alleged sighting and the encounter and
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, as Juliet says, at the same time, we come from a totally different perspective where we are rooted in science, but we're also rooted in indigenous culture and the law of the land and understanding where this comes from. Because you can only slap science so far on top of a sandwich, right? You have to have your bottom layer of bread plus a little bit of ham in the middle.
And so, you know, as we know, sciences are limited by what the government and what
Sorry, that was serious.
Yeah,
And
they're
possibly some cheese and some lettuce.
lettuce, cheese thing. Yeah. But that,
Yeah.
like that is something that we talk about all the time. But yeah, so no, I have loved this. This has been so much fun. Let's do one of Dog Man. Ooh, go Dog Man. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. Look at the uptake in Dog Man sightings. Oh my God, like almost on par with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
What is going on in that realm? We will go back over that later on. I do want to do a lot more research on that before we come back to that. But
yeah, Dogman is fascinating.
That's really interesting me. So if you got any Dogman photos, Dogman stories, guys, let me know. I would love to hear them. It is
Dogman
my
TV,
research
yeah.
that I'm doing at the moment. There are many sightings here in New South Wales, believe it or not. Ha ho. And there's a lot of, talk about mistaken identity of Bigfoot and Yowie. Yowie and Dogman sightings. People going, oh, I've seen a Yowie, it looks like this, but you're like, oh, actually, that's more of a Dogman. That's or oh, I saw a Dogman. You're like, no, I'm pretty sure that's a Yowie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Misidentification in that way. Not, oh, it was a kangaroo and I thought it was a Bigfoot. That doesn't.
I thought it was a Yowie.
Never going to happen, but it was a dog man. Yeah, sure.
Blue Dogman.
Um,
and like Lisa was saying, the whole dragon, all the new dragon stuff that's coming through, and the talk of the realms opening and dragons coming through, and people seeing dragons left, right, and center, which is so kind of cool and real funny. So we have got to get to do some more of these.
gonna be crazy town. Hey, Jules, do you know what we're doing next week?
I
like to put her on the spot to see if she can remember.
I don't even know what day of the week it is. Like, like, hey, listen, we had to remind ourselves today that it was daylight savings and we had 3 hours between us. So
yeah. Yeah. Totally forgot that one.
Yeah, no, what are we doing next week?
I tell you what, we're in Halloween season. And next week we've got Goatman Festival coming up on the weekend, so I'm pretty sure Lacey Boots on the Ground is going to be in Louisville, which will be awesome. But next week on our Walking in the Shadows live, we are interviewing the amazing author. Her name is Betsy Kulikowski, and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that should be cool. That would be really, really cool. So I'm going to try and do, if the weather's good next week, I'm going to try and do our live from the Heritage Park, where hopefully all the kangas are behind me. But our weather, even though we're out of winter, we're now heading into the worst weather we've had since winter. I don't know what's happening. Everyone's like, fuck.
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be so cool. That'd be amazing being on location. Yay.
Yeah, like we have got, the new area that we moved in, there's so many kangaroos around us. I was telling Lisa the other week, I actually had 2 juvenile kangaroos run into the side of my car. Thank God we were all going very, very slow. But there was a herd there, so everyone slowed right down, and I literally had these 2 young kangaroos just like ran straight into my car because they got a fright and then they jumped out. We've got some big males around us, and one jumped in front of another car the other night, so he nearly had that. So it's it's just like the kangas. We're in their space, we've the place where we've built, it's going into their space. So there's some pretty big herds here. So I need to do some lives, but every time I try to do it, but like, oh, where's the kangaroos? They all disappear on me. So
also Juliet has a portal in her house. So
I don't know what it is, man. It is weird stuff. Like the ground is vibrating. I don't know. There's something going on in this house. It's a brand new house, brand new things.
So you have a think about it. Come with some stories next week and tell us about the portal, because I really want to know about it.
I don't know what it is, man. Like you're walking along and your feet just start vibrating. It's the weirdest thing. Like certain spots and the whole thing is vibrating. And no, it's not earthquakes because we're on the earthquake thing. I don't know. And there's no real building around us. It's very random, really weird energy.
Maybe, oh my God, maybe it's the underground city.
Oh, it's under my house.
Oh, it wouldn't be the first time we've built an underground city in the middle of,
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Well, next week's going to be amazing. Please come and tune in. If you're on listening to us on Cult of Conspiracy, we've actually already potentially filmed with Betsy, so jump on YouTube and have a watch, or just wait for us next week. We'll bring that out as well, and you'll get to listen to her chat and tell us all about her books. And she does a podcast as well, and she is amazing.
She's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of laughter and banter next week, so tune in, guys.
Also, if you want to become a member of the society, you can do so by going to cryptidwomensociety.com, become a Truth Seeker member. You can become a founding member right now and get all the goodies and become part of the wee little secret society club within the society before everything changes. If you don't become a founding member now, you'll get stuck with the original price tag plus all the boring stuff. So do it now.
Do it now, guys. Do it. And we'll get you a coffee. Come to New Zealand and Australia.
We'll buy you a coffee. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I'm not going to tell you. That's a secret. I've got secrets. I've got secrets that I want to say.
No secrets. No secrets. Not today. Can't deal with it anymore.
All right. Hey, thank you for joining us. This was Walking in the Shadows. We love you all. Thank you for giving us your time and all the comments and everyone that watched.
Listening to us.
Talk rubbish about Bigfoot. It was so much fun.
Thanks.
If you've got any questions, DM us on our socials or jump onto the website and email us. And if you want to come and be a guest on the show and talk shit with us.
Octo Man, come on, man. You're with us every week. Come chat to us. I would love to chat to you. Tell me about your little growler.
Bring growling entities to the show.
We can talk to him. Be like, dude, what are you doing?
We'll do like a little ghost tube for him. Okay. We love you all. Big kisses.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy the paranormal and the cryptids, and we will see y'all.
Don't get kidnapped by aliens this week.
Instructions. Oh, it's so funny. All right. We'll see y'all later, Gator.
Later. Bye. Are we doing dancing again? See, that kind of blurs it out. Look, if you blur it out, see, that's where all these blurry photos come from.